Hey there, and welcome to another Health Essentials podcast. I'm John Horton, your host. Before we start this podcast, a warning seems in order. What we talk about may get stuck in your head for a while. That's because our topic is earworms, those tunes that land in your brain and play on in what seems like a never-ending loop. To paraphrase a certain catchy song, it can rock you. So what makes this musical itch happen? And more importantly, is there a way to shake it off? We're putting psychologist Kia-Rai Prewitt on the mic today to sing the truth about this phenomenon. She is one of the many experts at Cleveland Clinic who visit our weekly podcast to give us a better understanding of how our minds and bodies work. Now let's see what advice she has to get those pesky little ditties out of our noggin and truly beat it. Welcome back to the podcast, Dr. Prewitt. I have to tell you, we're talking in the nick of time because after researching earworms for this chat, I've got overload going on in my brain. It's been a battle with all these songs up here.
Yes. Hi, John. Thank you for having me.
So not that I want to wish one of these songs on you or risk getting it stuck in your head, but we all have those tunes that end up getting a little sticky and hanging on in there. What's one of yours that just once it gets in there, it won't go away?
Once It Depends by Chris Brown. So I'm a big Chris Brown fan. I'm going to his concert next month. So there are certain songs I feel like I'm just listening to a lot of his music lately. So I'm listening to that song probably way too many times.
Well, I got to tell you, one of mine that instantly comes to mind is way less cool, but it was Baby Shark because my grandkids, good God, they would play that constantly.
Yeah.
And once that gets in there, I don't think I was right for a year.
Yeah, that one I'm glad I don't have stuck in my head anymore, but it probably will be now that we've had this conversation.
And that's the risk of it. What most of us know as an earworm actually has a formal scientific name, involuntary musical imagery. And I love that that's known as, you could, with the abbreviation, it's INME, which is really hysterical when you think about it.
Yeah.
So, but all kidding aside, like what's the best way to define this kind of sticky music situation where it just gets stuck in your head and won't leave?
I mean, well, you use the term earworm, and that's really what it is that you have this song that might be playing in your head repetitively, kind of comes out of nowhere. It could be an actual song, or it's jingles are really popular, and so it's not uncommon for people to have jingles from a commercial in their head.
Well, and I've read a lot of times it's not like the full song, because I know when I get them stuck in there, it's not like you play it end to end. You get that like one little fragment in there, and it goes and goes and goes.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said it, because it's normally like the hook. Right. If you think about a song, it's like something that you hear repetitively. Right. And so you hear repetitively. It's just like with songs. A lot of times we don't know most of the words to the song, but as soon as our part comes on, we can jump right in there and sing it. And that's usually the part that gets stuck in your head.
Now, do we know why this happens? I mean, why do our brains torture us by hitting that repeat button over and over and over again?
Yeah, I mean, there's some different theories about it. I think a lot of it has to do with just memory and how our brains work. Our brains are so complex, so it's doing things all the time. And so, memory a lot of times is stored based off of emotions. Sometimes these songs are triggered based off of, maybe a commercial you saw, or maybe you see something on the street and it might remind you of a song, that you used to listen to. So a lot of times emotions can trigger memory for a song. But I think there's some complexities as far as why these things happen.
And some of it is just like the song itself, right? I mean, there are just kind of those catchy rhythms that just seem to automatically go in.
Yeah, I don't know. I grew up in Chicago, and there was a commercial for Empire, and so I've probably been hearing that commercial since I was 5 years old, and stopped hearing it probably something umpteen years ago. I'm not going to say how long ago, but I still know the exact melody. I will always remember the phone number for Empire because they always would sing it. And so, yes, there's just certain things that just get stuck. And I think it's if you keep hearing it over and over and over again, it doesn't take much to recall it.
No, definitely. And commercials are some of the worst things. And I know in Cleveland, we've got those too. Those ones that just, they're always there. And it almost becomes a joke after a while
Yeah.
because they're just, we all have it like in our heads.
Yeah, it's funny because even as we're talking, I'm like, yep, there's a song going in the back of my head from Cleveland. So yeah, and it's so weird and it's funny how that happens. It also happened. You may notice, like maybe someone mentions a song that's in their head. Next thing you know, it's in your head too. So I think that happens for a lot of folks too.
It really is like they're infectious. Like I swear they can. It's like the flu. I mean, it'll spread in a heartbeat. If somebody just mentions it to you, or they tell you they've got it stuck in your head, it'll cling to you too.
And there's, like you said, there's some songs that are really catchy, depending on the beat or the melody, or it might be something that maybe was taken from another song that you knew, and now somebody's like remixed it or sampled it, and so now you've got the new lyrics or maybe even the old lyrics in your head. So yeah, I think there's a lot of reasons why these songs just stay.
Are there certain characteristics that make getting in earworm more common, or you're more likely to have this happen?
So I'm not familiar with any characteristics per se. However, I would think that people who are musically attuned, or maybe even have a certain genre of music that they really enjoy, maybe they have a certain focus on certain types of melodies. I have a feeling they probably would really be attuned to certain types of music. So I think part of it might even be personality.
For the record, my chosen genre of music is not Baby Shark. So okay. I just want to get that out there. That's not what I rock out to when I'm driving around. Yeah. If you get earworms all the time, and you have this, could it be a sign of, I saw where it can be linked to maybe OCD or something like that. Is there a link there?
Yeah, so I actually have seen that as well. So people with OCD or obsessive compulsive disorder struggle with intrusive thoughts. And so music could be one of those ways that it could present itself. And so a song could be playing over and over in someone's head. And maybe they have a hard time getting it out of their head. And so if it's causing distress, that could also be linked as well.
I mean, when you talk about distress, or maybe stress being a trigger. Could sometimes this also be a mechanism we use to calm ourselves down? Because some of these songs they're comforting. I mean, we like them, and even though I joke about Baby Shark, it was a wonderful time, man. Little grandkids are running around, they're doing whatever, so it brings back happy memories, even if I get tired of hearing the song. But could there be that you're using it that way too?
Yeah, it's so funny you mentioned that. So there's a song by Bruno Mars, "Count on Me," and it's so funny
1, 2, 3. Yeah, I know.
Yep. And so my dad actually used to love the song, and my oldest daughter, who will be 14 next week, that was her favorite song as well. So it was a moment that was shared by my dad and my oldest daughter. Well, now my youngest daughter, who's 7, that has become a favorite of hers. And so now she sings it all the time. And it's so funny. I told my dad, I said, remember you used to sing this, with Kamaya, that's my oldest daughter. And he's like, no, not really. I said, well, I do. I said, and so now Malia is singing it. And I think, like you talked about, right? Like it brings a sort of comfort, right? And so here, my youngest daughter singing the same song that used to be a favorite between my dad and my oldest daughter brings back like these pleasant memories. So I definitely think it can be associated with like comfort as well.
Yeah, that's what you realize. Music is such a powerful force, and it sinks into us, and it brings out so many emotions and thoughts and feelings, which I think it does tie into these earworms that get stuck in there.
Music is comforting for a lot of people. When I talk about, what we call self-soothing, so maybe you're having a difficult time, self-soothing is doing something that can appeal to one or more of your 5 senses. And so listening to music or having a tune in your head or something that brings you comfort, I think can be very helpful. So yeah, if it's an earworm for you, but it helps you work through a difficult situation, it could be really positive.
We did just put a happy face on earworms, which, I kind of like. We don't want to make it all seem bad. But as we all know, it can also be bad. If you get that hippopotamus song at Christmas stuck in your head, you want it out. Like it's got to go.
I don't know if I know the hippopotamus song.
Don't look it up, man. You don't. Nobody wants a hippopotamus for Christmas, and you don't want that song in your head. So if we're going to get rid of these things, What can we do to kind of get that song out of our head?
It may be finding a new song to turn on, right? And so if you can't get it out of your head, refocusing on something else. It might be doing something to distract yourself. I mentioned distress earlier. So if it's something that's causing distress, sometimes it might be because it's triggering maybe an unhappy or unsettling memory. It could be linked to some type of trauma or very difficult event in your life too. And so, if you notice that every time that song comes in your head, you're having a really strong or difficult reaction, it might be worth talking to somebody about as well.
If you do have one of these songs, I saw one tip online where they recommended just listening to the full song. Because like I said, we usually get that one little loop in there. So it's almost like you kind of fight fire with fire. Like, all right, you're going to be stuck in there, then I'm going to really listen to you. And it just kind of like forces it out.
Yeah, so it's more of like an approach is what I'm hearing. So leaning into, that. And I could see that being helpful for some people as well. But if someone continues to struggle and it causes even more like pain or suffering, or you just notice like a lot of discomfort, again, I would check it out with somebody.
What other approaches could somebody try if they were just going to, try to get that annoying one out for a little bit?
First, I would see like how are you reacting to it, right? So if it's bringing you pleasant emotions and it's helping you work through maybe a situation or help you work through the day, I wouldn't worry about it too much. But otherwise, I would either, kind of take the suggestions you mentioned. So one, you could listen to the songs to see if that helps you get rid of it. I would find another song. It might be, watching a movie, going for a walk, doing something that kind of brings you to the present. So noticing, like, I'm noticing the song will get out of my head. Let me see if I can refocus on something else.
Yeah. I even read one thing where they said chewing gum might help because it actually activates the part of the brain where music kind of lives and rocks.
If it works, I would say try it.
just don't think of the gum jingle while you're doing it.
Yeah, right. I know. Was it Wrigley? That just came out, right? So I think we have so many different references. So I think, whatever you can do, the gum chewing, like I said, the mindfulness, leaning into the song. I think all of those are great, suggestions. But it's just something normal.
Yeah.
That happens. And so, sometimes I'm thinking rather than trying to get rid of it, just go with it and just know there will be something else that comes up too.
Well, and I was going to say, that's the thing. Like, I'm guessing earworms are rarely terminal. So this is one of those things, if you just kind of wait it out, it should eventually go away. Even if it is maybe replaced by another one.
Yeah. And it may be, maybe a song comes to memory, from years ago and it reminded you of something funny that happened. You may just reach out, especially if that was a shared event. You might reach out, hey, remember when this thing happened or this song popped in my head and it reminded me of you. And so sometimes it can actually be a reminder to connect with someone, or it might be a reminder of like, oh, I remember during that time in my life, I was engaging in these types of activities. I haven't done that in a while. Maybe I can, do something about that. Right. And so sometimes it can kind of bring back a sense of nostalgia as well. And so it's not always a bad thing. But again, if you're noticing it's causing a lot of discomfort and you're really worried about it, I would just talk to, a medical provider about it or a behavioral health specialist.
You don't want one of these songs getting in the way of, your happiness or your quality of life or things like that. If it gets to that point, definitely see somebody. Dr. Prewitt, I'm sure we all have some tunes that we feel like we need to listen to now after doing this. But before we break away and queue up a playlist, do you have any final words of advice for us when it comes to earworms?
Well, just know it's normal. It is normal. That's just how our brain works. There's going to be certain emotions, I think, tied to certain songs. And so you may notice that certain songs may come to mind more than other songs. And so if it's really bothersome, doing some things that, can take your mind off of it or distract you. Otherwise, kind of lean into it. So you mentioned Baby Shark. If Baby Shark is in your head, sing it and keep moving, right? And maybe come up with a little dance as you sing.
There is a dance. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm trying to hold it at bay, but no, there is one.
There's a dance to It Depends too by Chris Brown, right? I'm not gonna do it. I haven't learned it, but it's one of those things like it might just be something that, brings you a sense of calm, a sense of peace, right? And so sometimes songs I think remind us to just be in the moment. It might bring a smile to your face during a time of stress. And so it's not something to necessarily avoid. It's just something normal that happens.
Well, Dr. Prewitt, I really appreciate you coming in. This was a really fun conversation, and we definitely got to have you back on. Maybe we can have a dance party next time because we already got these songs going. So we'll lean into that too.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much, and like I said, look forward to having you on again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's estimated that 98% of us experience earworms at some point, so it's a good thing they're pretty harmless. Still, those sticky songs can be pretty annoying. Try some of the tips suggested by Dr. Prewitt if you want to stop that tune. Trust me, you can do it. Just don't stop believing it's possible. If you liked what you heard today, please hit the subscribe button and leave a comment to share your thoughts. Till next time, be well.